homesteaders, welcome back to the channel. I'm Candy, one half of Candy and Kelly, and we are showing you all about our lives here on our frugal homestead, which we're attempting to build from scratch. We've left the 9 to 5, we've left the corporate life, we're escaping the system as much as we can, and we're just trying to do things on our terms. And you're following along to all the different ups and downs that we have going on here on our homestead. I don't know if you can call it a homestead at this time, but we're doing our best to build it up from scratch anyway. We've got the land, we've just finished renovating the house, we've done a bit of van life in between, we've moved 3 hours away from family and friends, and we're just trying to do what we can to achieve what we want out of life, essentially. And what we want out of life is something that I wanted to just touch on today, really, because I felt that I wanted to come on and talk about what on earth is going on. Like, what is happening in this country and across the world? I mean, there's so much going on. I'm not going to go into detail about all my own kind of like personal beliefs and what I think is right and wrong and stuff like that, because it's not about that. It's just about how there's just a weird vibe. I don't know if anyone feels there's just something strange going on. I know that life, since we had the pandemic, life has been pretty strange anyway. It's just kind of like the 5 years or whatever it is since then has just flown by, and everything just feels a little bit off. And all the stuff that's going on in the news at the moment, it's like, I just don't understand where all this hatred is coming from. I'm really struggling to understand it. In my position, I mean what I'm deciding to do with my life, not in my occupation or anything like that. This has really kind of been leading up to where we want to get to. We just want to get away from it all, just do our own thing. And one thing I will say, like I say, I'm not going to go into all my personal beliefs, and I don't think that matters actually. Why can't we all just be kind to each other? And that is just what I don't get. And us coming out of the system as much as we can, don't get me wrong, I know I always say it, we're still in the system, we've just quit the 9 to 5 basically, and we're trying to do things on our own terms and become as self-sufficient as possible once the garden gets up and running. However, we are still firmly in the system. I think it's very hard to get out of the system these days. I'm sure there are some amazing, skillful, knowledgeable people out there that do it, but I don't feel that we'll ever escape the system 100%. We're just doing what we can at this time, and with what's going on in the country. I mean, not only the hatred that's going around, but it's like all the tax that's being put on to everything, all the changes in like pensions and all that type of stuff, inheritance tax and capital gains tax, and people starting to, if you're renting out places, then you're going to have to pay like 8% more interest rate, or national insurance or something like that. Or if you've got your second property, then you have to get double capital gains on that. And they're even talking about bringing in capital gains on your first property, like your only property, your main household. And I know they've got this big plug that they've got to fill, that this big hole that they've got to try and fill, but I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of distraction going on, and I don't want to come across as really like conspiratorial or anything like that, but I've got to speak a little bit about what I truly believe is going on. And I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to talk about individual beliefs, but just this like overarching vibe that just feels a little bit off, and it's a bit scary. I mean, have any of you seen Handmaid's Tale? It feels a little bit like we're on our way into Gilead. America does feel a little bit like that from what you see in the news, doesn't it? And that is very scary. And it's just like, community is so important, and that's why, another reason why we wanted to do this life, because when we was both in the corporate life, it was like you was go 24/7. And I know, like, I'm not saying we didn't have holidays or down days or anything like that, but the general gist is that no one has any time. And that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to get out of the corporate 9 to 5, is just to concentrate on us. Maybe selfishly, but why not? You know, this is our life. Concentrate on us and spend time on us doing what we want to do. And I just feel like there's so much distraction out there that a big part of it for us was just to strip all that back and get back to basics. Get back to basics in a way that, you know, growing our own stuff, living a frugal lifestyle. Yes, we're having to sacrifice quite a bit, but I do feel that the rewards outweigh the negatives on that, for sure. And to be part of a community where, you know, you see, and yes, I do still scroll online, doom scroll. I get caught up in, actually mainly, I like watching people eating fried chicken. I love it. I get it. My algorithm suddenly goes from like cat videos to like people crunching on fried chicken. But anyway, some of the other videos you see on there where like really awful things are happening to people in the world and around the country, and people don't do anything about it. They're just sitting there. And the hardest thing is that I completely understand, because it is really getting dangerous out there. And I'm not saying like we're all like in the ghetto and stuff like that. There are some lovely places out there, but it does seem to be getting worse. Or do we think it's seeming like it's getting worse because everything is filmed and videoed and recorded these days? Who knows? But it was just like, I feel like I'm in a little bit of a bubble here as well. And don't get me wrong, we follow the news. It's one of our interests. We like following the news. We like following politics, economy, that type of stuff. And there is stuff going on. I think that all these big things that keep happening, that they're just trying to distract us away from what is really going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's like another pandemic coming. You know, at this point, I can honestly say I would not be surprised if we get aliens. Probably already here, for all we know. And, you know, it's one of them things where I'll be like, all right, yeah, aliens today, we'll deal with them then. It's one of them, and like that is not normal. And it's like, I feel like we're all being dumbed down a little bit, because I really don't know what the goal is by the powers that be. I really don't. I don't know. Obviously power, but, and I feel, but this is the first time really, I know I've on a few of the videos, quite a few videos, I say, oh, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole on that, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole on that, I don't want to get conspiratorial, and I don't want to go into it, but this is probably the first time where I've sort of said, like, you know, I believe that there is something going on in this country and this world, and I believe that there's higher powers that are controlling it all. Not higher powers as in aliens, I mean like people that are controlling it, and everything else that we see on our level is just a pantomime. But why are they doing it? Like, what is happening that is ramping it up? I mean, we're heading towards like the 2030 agenda. If you haven't looked that up, you should look it up. It's just actually quite scary in itself. Whereas the world seems to be rushing forward for all these different things and new stuff, Kel and I, we want to go back to what it was. And we were born in the 80s, so I think I've said before, we were just in that generation, I think, that we're lucky, because we didn't have the internet, we didn't have mobiles when we were kids growing up. I mean, just feel so sorry for kids these days. I mean, some of them are horrible little buggers, aren't they? But I feel sorry for kids, all the cyberbullying and stuff like that. I mean, how awful. I mean, bullying in person was bad enough, but all this cyberbullying, I mean, can ruin people's lives. I mean, kids are killing themselves. Like, it's just not on. But we was born in the 80s, so we had that childhood where, you know, you was going out, playing with your friends, kicking around fields, playgrounds, and I'll come in when the lights come on, that type of thing. Come in when I call you for your dinner. That was such an amazing time, and that holds so much nostalgia for me. It was like before all the technology coming in, and don't get me wrong, I know we need technology, I know we need these technological advances in terms of like security, warfare, kind of how the country evolves and how the world evolves. I'm not stupid, but and even AI, like that's like a little bit scary, some of the things that I'm reading up about that. But I do go down a little rabbit hole every now and then and kind of can't get out of it, so I'm not going to go into that now. But like, I dream about the time, but my grandma used to tell me all the stories, you know, of the allotments and community. Used to nip round and help people, and used to have like community dances. Not that I want to go dance, don't get me wrong. But I mean, it was just simpler times. And this is probably more true for Kel especially. Like, she loves all the old comedy programmes. And I find myself sometimes, I'm like, no, you watch it, love. I'll just chill on my iPad or do some jobs or do a bit of cooking or something like that. But I find myself like entranced by them. And the ones that she loves the most, like on the buses, she's literally obsessed. And I think she probably won't mind me saying, it takes her back to like a simpler time. And I find myself staring at it and watching it, and I just love it. My one at the moment I'm getting back into is Roseanne. It's like a US comedy. Most people might know it. But it just shows simpler times, and we're watching old Birds of the Feather. Oh, yeah, I could go on and talk about these programs, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that are really for all this new stuff that's coming in and new technology and AI and everything like that. But are there people out there, and is there people watching this that really kind of have a deep hunger for getting back to the land and living a bit more slowly? And I feel like maybe people might think I'm a hypocrite because I still like some of the trappings of modern life, you know, like Wi-Fi. I mean, you're watching me now on your Wi-Fi and your internet, right? And I'm recording this on a digital camera, DJI camera, and then we'll edit it on a Mac and stuff like that. So I'm not stupid. Like I don't think everything is bad, and I'm not just picking and choosing. I just think the direction of where we're heading is a little bit scary. And are there other people out there that want to get back to stuff like we want to get back to? We just want to get back to, like, we've shown a bit of the bartering. We've shown growing a couple of little bits. Hang on. I can hear my cat's crying outside because I've got the door. Hang on, you can hear her, listen. Biz! Come on! I'm in here! She's literally obsessed. She's like my shadow. She don't know where I am. She's getting old. Biz! Come on. I don't know where she is. She's out there crying somewhere. What she does, she has this little baby like toy. It's like a catnip toy. And you know when kids have like a blankie where they can't ever get rid of, and it gets dirty and disgusting. She's had this about 5-6 years. Can't get rid of it. Can't get a new toy. Nothing. She don't want to know. So she's out there somewhere. No, she'll probably come and push the door open when she wants to find me. But yeah, just saying, like, I want to get back to how it was, and probably what I want to get back to, I don't know how it was, if you know what I mean. So it's like the earlier times, you know, see things online where you just think it's so simple. Like you went to work, or you worked off the land, you got your wages, you spent them on your food, you spent time with your family, and then you was fulfilled with life. I know, like, people live a lot longer. People live a lot longer these days, but people had healthier lives back in the day. And I'm rambling a little bit on this now, but it's just I really yearn for that, and I know that there's other people out there that yearn for it. So, like, are we going to make a stand, or are we just going to kind of get swept along with whatever else is coming? You know, digital IDs, 15-minute cities. Every time you have a little bit of money in your bank, you're getting questioned why you've got it, and then you get taxed on it. You get taxed on the savings that you've had, where you've already got taxed when it's come through from your wages, and then whenever you want to take it out, you get taxed on it. You get taxed on it when it sits in your account, and then you take it out your bank, you get taxed on it, and then when you want to buy petrol for your car, you get taxed on it. And then if you want to buy stuff and you get in the shops, you get taxed on it. Like, you just can't make it up. It's just something not right, and I can see why there's uproar. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like I just want to be tucked away in my little homestead and just do my own thing. And I think there's a lot of people out there that feel like that, because it's just getting a bit scary. And that's like one of the main reasons for us moving to this is because we wanted a less complicated life. And obviously mental health was a thing back in the day, but it wasn't as bad as it is now, I don't think, anyway. But again, that might be just because it's reported a lot more and commented on a lot more. But we were burnt out, and it was just because keeping up with the Joneses all the time, and just kind of just like everything was money. Got to have money, got to go here, got to put this on Instagram, got to show this, got to buy that, got to do. No, I just want to take it down a notch, relax, and I take most of my pleasure now in nature. And I know I sound like a twat, but I really do. You know, I've sat in board meetings, and I've chaired meetings where I'm like a senior manager and a leader, and none of that means anything. It really doesn't. I just want to be at one and at peace with my bit of land, with my wife, my family, and just do us. And I don't think that's too much to ask. And I know this is getting a bit deep, but I wasn't actually going to come on and talk about this, but it's just getting a bit much, you know. It's like every day there's some major curveball when you think, nah, they're not going to do that, are they? No, that wouldn't happen. Or you see one bit of news, see another bit of news, and you put two and two together and you think, hang on a minute, something's not right here. And I don't know, it just feels a little bit, everywhere just feels a little bit on edge. And we're on edge, so are we going to tip over that edge? Or, I don't know, are we going to go to war? What's the next steps? I really don't know. And I just think there's some, that's the thing as well, like if we're talking politics, Labour are bad enough, but I don't think you can point it all on Labour. Like, you've got, like, everyone, they're all the same. They are all the same. There's no point even blaming it on one or the other. And, you know, people say, oh, Labour have done this, they've ruined this, they've ruined that. And then when people that support Labour come in, then they say, well, we're clearing up all this mess from the Conservatives, and we've done... They're all the same. They make all these pledges, and then they just come in and then they just fling the narrative out what they expect us to do. And I hope that us changing our lifestyle around and us moving location even, just out a bit further, up the country a little bit further, that we can just concentrate on doing us, and we can just try and not put our heads in the sand a little bit. Like I say, I'm really interested in keeping up with all this news, and it intrigues me, it fascinates me, like how we're evolving like this as a country and as a planet. Like, what the hell is going on? But it is what it is, and I'm just going to concentrate on what I can control, and that is my spending, my living, my doing, and what me and Kel are up to. That's the only things that we've got absolute control over, and we're just going to enjoy it. And we don't know what is around the corner, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen next year, but living more in the moment is something that we're really trying to practice and do more, because we're normally thinking so far ahead that we can't see the woods for the trees, and then everything becomes too much, and we're not where we want to be here, because we absolutely want all the land done, we want trees, we want flowers, we want everything growing, but we want to enjoy how we get into it. And that's one of the other reasons for me doing these videos. Obviously I love talking to you guys, you know that, but secondly, I love looking back and seeing how far we've come, even on some of the videos on my Instagram and stuff like that, and you think, wow, yeah, I can't remember we did that, oh, I can't believe we did that, oh wow, we're so mad to do that. It's looking back on what we're doing to achieve all the stuff that we want to achieve. I guess when we get to the pinnacle of where we want to be, we'll be like, oh, what do we do now? So it's a bit like, you know, when on Only Fools and Horses, it's a UK sitcom where they win the lottery, Del Boy and Rodney, and he's not happy because he's like, oh, it's about, I enjoy the chase and trying to get the money. Like, that's a little bit what we are. Not, well, I hope we win the lottery, but who knows. But we're just enjoying it for what it is, and we want to take in each day. Like, every day we get through is another day that we're able to live our dream and live on a homestead and not work the 9 to 5. And that's how I'm thinking about life at the moment. So, another Sunday ramble for you guys. I don't let you down, do I, every now and then? But, so this video that you're watching now is going to go out on the Sunday, and I actually think that today is going to be the first time that we try our log burner, which is really, really exciting. That's like a big tick off our dream bucket list as well. I mean, how stupid is that? People like wish they could win the lottery, have a Porsche, have a Lamborghini, something like that. Oh no, we just wish that we could have a log burner one day, and we've manifested it and we've got it. So hopefully on the next one, I'll be showing you how we test out our log burner for the first time. Don't quote me on that because the weather might warm up, but I'm hoping that's what we're going to do. So thank you once again for listening to me chatting away about nothing and about everything, just about how we're feeling, what we're doing and how we're living. And these videos will keep coming. And remember, log burner to come. We've got the front fence to come, the new water pipe to come, and then planning out all the beds to come. So there's a lot of stuff that's in the pipeline. So thank you so much for sticking around. If you like what you see and you've come across this in the algorithm somewhere, please do subscribe, because we would love to get to that magic 1,000 subscribers. And we're not too far off. We're gradually getting there. So thank you again for watching, hustlers. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a lovely end to the Sunday, and we will see you on the next one. See you later.